Stamper. It is Wednesday, April 19th, and I am here today to go over the projects for the virtual attendees for Fond Farewell 2023. So I'm going to start out by telling you some supplies to grab, and then I will get into the kit stuff. So I always like to have Scotch tape. If you don't like using Scotch tape, glue dots will work. I'm going to have a little bit of ribbon. And then I like to have my liquid glue, but whatever your favorite adhesive is. And some dimensionals. And then you'll need some ink pads. So I have used Memento Tuxedo Black on one of the cards. You can use that on all of them if you don't have some of these pads. I think most of you do. So Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Fresh Freesia, Pale Papaya. So these are from the 2021 to 2023 in colors that are soon to retire. And then some paper snips or scissors. And if you like to use the Take-A-Pic tool. And then you could use the Wink of Stella if you have it. I did use 2 markers, so if you have polished pink and soft succulent, you can grab those, or something similar, or you actually can just leave your card as a black and white. You'll see when we get there. And then for stamp sets, mostly what you're going to need is sentiments. So I used a couple sentiments from the Lovely and Lasting. And then I use this image here, this big shell, and a sentiment from the Friends Are Like Seashells. So if you don't have this stamp set, something kind of bold, we're going to do a technique called faux tile, and you need a bolder image. And then I use this, you need a skinny sentiment, and this one I grabbed out of the Country Bouquet. And then you're going to need another longer, skinnier sentiment. And this one I used from Happiness Abounds. I think that's it. I'm not always that great about telling you the supplies to grab, but hopefully I nailed it this time. Just a couple other things before we get started. Your annual catalog should be in your envelope with your kit. And ordering starts on May 2nd. So enjoy that. You got a couple weeks to make your wish lists. And then just a reminder that the annual catalog retires on May 1st. So if you wanted to grab anything out of here, you want to do it before May 1st. And I brought this up several times. There are some price increases coming in that new annual catalog. So you might want to grab some of those basic supplies. Also, these items that are retiring, many of them are on the last chance list and they're on sale, and they are while supplies last. So the sooner you place your order for those items, the better. And then same with the mini catalog. It ends on May 1st too. So that's the scoop on the catalog. If you happen to be watching this today, April 19th, today's free shipping day at Stampin' Up! If your order is $75 or more, you can get free shipping. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into the projects. This is the first one we'll go over. This is the faux tile technique. Very simple technique, but really nice looking when it's finished. Let me grab the kit here, and I realized I don't really want any stamping on my mat here, so I'm going to grab a placemat really quickly. Stick it under here because I want to keep this clean for my videos. So sorry about that. I always try to be super organized, but somehow I'm not. Okay, all right, so let's grab things. I just noticed this is getting really low. I just got an order yesterday with 15 tubes of green glue. That should keep us going for a while. I always like to have it in the studio, so I won't be having to raise prices in the studio for hopefully a bit. Okay, so when we open this up, we're going to be careful because there's going to be some small little pieces in here. And I've already scored this for you, but I am going to show you how I did it. And you've got a piece of foil, and then we've got some champagne rhinestones, and you've got a couple of shells, and then you've got a piece for your sentiment. All right, so let me show you first how I did this. So you can use your scoring blade on your paper trimmer, or you can use the scoreboard. And yours is already done, so you don't have to do this, but I want to show you how I did it. So you're going to score at 1, 2, and 3 on both sides. So you'll pull this down, score, score, score. Turn it, score, score, score. And that makes it look like little tiles. Also, while I have this in my mind, if you don't have this tool yet, it's currently $30. It's a great tool. I love it for scoring and folds and stuff. It is going to be $36 in the new catalog. So if you don't have it, you might want to grab it sooner rather than later. Okay, so you want to do that before you start any stamping or anything. Like I said already, yours is already done, so you don't need to worry about that. Let me grab the stamps. So you're going to need a bold image. And I've seen this done with florals, but make sure it's a bold floral, and it looks really nice. All right, and we're going to grab our soft succulent pad. This is one of my favorite greens, and I was really hoping that they would bring the soft succulent over in the color refresh, and they didn't. So it is actually retiring on May 1st, but maybe it'll come back in the future. I don't know. Okay, so I would use a bolder image, and I would stamp it 3 times. And what happens when you stamp it is it looks like tile with those score marks in there. It's really cool. I don't know if you can see it on the video or not. I'm bringing it up as far as I can, but I love it. It looks like a tile in your bathroom or your kitchen or something. It's cool. And we've never done this in the studio before. All right, we're going to do 3 of those, just randomly, however you want them. All right. And then our sentiment goes kind of in the middle of the skinny white layer. I love this sentiment. I actually love this stamp set. This is the Friends Are Seashells, and it is retiring, sadly. And then the really cool thing about this is there's a folder that matches it, and there's also a die cuts, and both of those are on the last chance list too, and they're marked down really well. So, all right, so in class we'll be using the 2 stamps that go with these little dies. So if you don't have this stamp set to overstamp, then I would suggest maybe doing a little bit of sponging or brushing or just grabbing the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of these little blending brushes, because I know all of you don't have this, and you just add a little color. Ooh, that's pretty. And you can go heavier on the edges if you want. They've got a little bit of embossing on the edge, so if you add a little color to the edge, then it'll really kind of pop off the card when you go to adhere it. So I'm going to go ahead and go kind of through that. And like I said, if you have this stamp set, then just overstamp these. But I wanted to give everybody options because I know everyone doesn't have it. Okay, so put that away. All right, so we are ready to assemble. All right, let's put this on this. And this glue is almost empty. So I know I've shared this before, but if you keep your glue upside down and keep the lid on it when you're not using it, it will work a lot better for you. All right, let that sit for a second. Okay, so now we're going to assemble this to the card base. And you can use dimensionals if you want. I didn't, because you're going to pop up the shells and I wanted to kind of highlight them. Oops, I let that move a little bit. All right. Okay, so pop this up on a couple of dimensionals. And then you can just take those shells and add them wherever you want. I kind of put them on either end of the sentiment. But if your sentiment is bigger or something, you can stick them somewhere else. It's your card, you know. Make it yours. Make it original. All right, and then we'll go ahead and add the rhinestone charms. Did you guys notice I finally found my take a pic tool? I don't remember where it was. It was in some weird place, but Carol actually gave me hers because she felt so bad for me, and then as soon as she left my house, I found it. So I've already returned that to her. I knew as soon as I ordered it or got another one, it would turn up. Okay, speaking of these champagne rhinestones, they are on the last chance list. They are on sale, and they are not going to be in the new catalog, and I love them. So, okay, so that's that card. If you want to add a shell down here, I think I'll do that because it'll add a little interest to the envelope. If you want to grab your image from your project, this will look cute. It's a beachy card. My sister Michelle would love it. I'm getting better, you guys. I can actually say that without tearing up. All right, isn't that awesome? Oh, I love it. I love this color. Oh, I'm gonna miss you, soft succulent. All right, let me put these things away very quickly and we'll move on to the next card. Okay, this one is our evening evergreen. So you want to grab your evening evergreen, and it goes together pretty well. So again, you're going to want to be careful. There's a little mini dragonfly in there. Love these dragonflies from the mini catalog. And they will not be in the new catalog, which makes me sad. All right, so you have I die cut this with one of our dies. Gosh, I forgot the name of this one. Darn it, I meant to look that up before I started. Anyway, it's also retiring. Before you glue it down, glue your designer series paper in the middle. And then we're going to tie our ribbon around, and then you'll glue it to your card base. So that's the first thing you want to do. All right, so we got that on there, and then we'll tie our ribbon. And I left it a little bit long, so you will have to trim it. I just made kind of a soft knot on the side. Try not to make real hard, tight knots because they add to your postage. They make the envelope lumpy. And then the mailman wants to do a surcharge on you. Okay, so we're going to cut that right on the end there. Okay. All right, and then this gets glued to the very vanilla layer. Yeah, so if you have placed an order recently, you know that Stampin' Up! Got really slammed on April 4th. And they had their best day ever in 35 years. So they are a little behind on shipping. And I think this rolled over to the UPS driver because he showed up last night with my order that I placed on April 4th at 9 p.m. I'm going to make this into a thank you card. So I use the You're Too Kind from the Lovely and Lasting, I believe. Anyway, he showed up at 9 p.m. with my pre-order. Oops. All right, do you see that? See, I do that too. I rocked it. So it's a soft touch, you don't need to push, and we aren't at a rock and roll concert. There we go. Good job, Deb. Anyway, he showed up at 9 o'clock last night with my order that was placed on April 4th. So if you're waiting for an order, or if you've placed an order with me that you think you're going to pick up at my house, or that I'm going to drop off, it's going to be a while because it's just taken time. Anyway, when he showed up at 9 o'clock, you know, my husband's like, "What is this stuff?" And he says, "Just wait till in the morning." We were kind of getting ready to go to bed, and I'm like, "No, it's my pre-order. I have to look at it now." So I opened it up, and there's 15 tubes of glue and 6 packs of envelopes, and then I got to see my pre-order. All right, so we're going to do that. Now, with this little dragonfly, you can put him wherever you want, and you can use a glue dot, or you can use the liquid glue. I'm going to use the glue dot. And you kind of got to roll it up a little bit because it is a little bit bigger than the dragonfly. So it hangs over a little bit, but if you just kind of squish it together, there we go. And it just kind of hides behind that once you squish it together. We'll put this one up here. Cute card, simple, love those little dragonflies. Okay, we'll put that away. All right, let's move on. Okay, this one's next. So we're going to want to grab our Memento ink pad and our markers. And this will be where you'll want to use the Wink of Stella if you want to use that. Okay, and this one is where I use the Happiness Abounds stamp set. So what I'm using out of here is the flowers, the leaves, and then the sentiment. If you don't have this stamp set, find another floral that's kind of open that you could color in. And then you need a longer sentiment, although you can kind of do whatever you want up there. Okay, so what I did was I took, let's get the kit out first so I have something to stamp on. And when you open this kit up, it's another one you're going to want to watch for because you've got 3 black dots in there. All right, let's go ahead. You'll find that you have a liner and then a piece of basic white. So the piece of basic white with the square cut out is what goes on the outside. The one that's a lighter weight, that's computer paper, is your liner for the inside. I might have to break down and open that glue because this one's getting pretty challenging to work with. You know, I got to use every last drop of it. Grandma always said, waste not, want not. Okay, so we'll set that to the side. And then, so I use the stylish shape dies, and I actually cut this after I stamped on the project. But for the virtual, I pre-cut them. I'm hoping this works out okay. This is called the spotlight technique, and it's where you take a part of the image and you kind of spotlight it. All right, so I've got 3 stamps mounted on this long clear block. You might have to randomly stamp yours if you don't have a long one, or whatever works for you. It might be a little bit different than how I'm going to do this. All right, so I'm going to ink these out pretty good. And then I want to line up the floral so that part of it is in that square. And again, if you don't have the markers on this, you can just do a black and white if you want. Okay, there we go. All right, then I need the leaves. And I actually need a wedding card next month, so I'm going to make this into a wedding card. All right, so I'm going to add some greenery around. Let's put a little bit on this. And just randomly kind of add some stems and greenery stuff, kind of however you want it. And then I'm going to put my best wishes at the top. Okay, get these stamps out of here. Done with those. Now, if you don't have the Wink of Stella, many of you received the Shimmery Crystal Effects as a birthday gift a couple years ago, so this would actually work in here too. So that's another option there for you. All right, I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to go ahead and do a little coloring. So I'm using this soft succulent marker. If you don't have that, some kind of green. If you have the blends, that would work too. And you're only coloring in the piece that is going to be the spotlight. All right, here's this. And when I color, I like to go in a circle and it doesn't leave marks. And it kind of looks 3D-ish, like a petal would. A petal isn't, you know, the color's different. Depending on how you're looking at the petal, there'll be lots of shades. And so this kind of gives that effect too. And I'm kind of a sloppy color. I actually like watercoloring a little better because then I don't have to stay in the lines. And you can leave a little bit of white in there because that will actually give it a little variation of color too. You don't have to color it solidly. Okay, all right, so I'm going to add the Wink of Stella in there now, and I just put it in the center. And that just adds a little bit of shimmer and shine. I love it. All right. Okay, so now let's go ahead and glue things together. So you're going to glue that little white square onto the polished pink square that's just a smidge bigger. You don't want it to be too much bigger on the spotlight. Punches work really well for this technique too. But I wanted to show that you can do it with dies too. So that's why we're doing it with the die this time. And plus you get the square. I don't have any square punches anymore. Super excited that there is a new circle punch in the new annual catalog. And also they have brought back a couple of punches in the online exclusive, the 1 3/4 and the 2-inch one. I use those so much, so I was happy to see those come back. All right, let's go ahead and put this layer onto the back, basic black layer. Okay, I'm really starting to struggle with this glue. It might be time to open a new bottle. I can still feel there's a lot in there, but when it gets down to the bottom, it's a little more tricky to get it out. How you get your arm work out, just keep shaking it. All right, so put that on top of the basic black. Now we're going to put that spotlight layer in, and we're going to use dimensionals to attach that so it pops it up off the project and adds a little more dimension and draws attention to the technique there, which is what we're looking for. All right, kind of line it back up. So you don't want it to go that way or that way. You want it to line back up with the image. All right, now we've got our matte black dots. And you can just randomly put those wherever you would like. Okay, there we go. I've got a wedding card for my wedding next month. All right, so that is number 3. We're over halfway through. So this is going to be our next card. And this uses the designer series paper from the Celebrations promotion in last winter. So it is Fragrant Flowers, I believe. I still had quite a few pieces left, and I know a lot of you have it as well, so I wanted to give you an extra idea. All right, and the card opens this way. So again, you want to watch when you open this one. You've got 3 more pearls. These pearls are on sale right now too, and they are also retiring. And this card features fresh freesia, and I'm so excited that they're going to keep this color, so we will actually have it in the new annual catalog. I did pre-emboss. I'm going to open this because I'm tired of fighting with it. I did pre-emboss the fresh freesia layer with a quarter full embossing folder. I don't know if that one's one that's carrying over into the new catalog or not. I think it is, but I might be wrong. I'm trying to keep track of all this, but there's been a lot going on lately, you guys. Okay, now you've got this beautiful fresh freesia ribbon. And love this ribbon, and it is on the last chance list. And it's on sale, and I want to say it's like $2.30. It's super reasonable. I just ordered an extra spool to have here in the studio because I like it so much. It ties well. All right, I'm going to use a piece of Scotch tape. If you don't like Scotch tape, use some glue dots. And you've got this little punch out. And I use the Lovely and Lasting stamp set for this. So it's got a little frame. And you may or may not have a frame, so you can either go around your edges or just leave it plain. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it plain so we can see what it looks like. I need a ton of Mother's Day cards this year. I've decided that I am going to send out Mother's Day cards to lots of people this year. I think as women, we need to uplift each other. Especially the last few years, different people have had different things happen to them. So I'm going to really flood the mailbox with Mother's Day cards. So this is the sentiment from the March Paper Pumpkin Kit. I love it. It says, "To a Wonderful Mother." And then, so like I said, you could take your blending brush and go around the edge, or a sponge. I'm going to leave it just plain. I'm good with it being that way. All right, now we need a couple of dimensionals to pop this over the ribbon, and we need to trim off that ribbon a little bit. All right, and we'll glue that to the fresh freesia layer. And then we'll put the pearls on here. Okay, all right, isn't that pretty? Love it. You know, I think I like it even more than I like this one with the frame on the outside. Okay, things that make you go, All right, last but not least is the bell papaya. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. There's not too many things in here, but there are a couple of little embellishments. The soft succulent and the pale papaya dots are in there. And then you've got those two, and you've got this. So let's go ahead and get our sentiment done. And I kind of like this, just wanted to say, and then I can put whatever I want on the inside. So I can use this as another Mother's Day card or sympathy card or a birthday card, whatever I want. And this sentiment is from the Country Bouquet. And this is in the mini catalog right now, and it's a bundle with a coordinating punch. And it will be in the new catalog, but it won't be a bundle then. So that's something you need to keep in mind if you wanted any bundles that are carrying over from the old, either one of the annual or the mini. They aren't bundled in the new catalog, so you lose that 10% savings. So be sure you grab any bundles that you want before May 1st. All right, and then this goes here. Okay, and then this has been embossed with you with the Pretty Flowers embossing folder. And that's another one that's retiring. And it's on sale right now for $6. It's a beautiful folder. It goes really well with several of the floral stamp sets. Now, if you find, and I see that I have that on here, sometimes when you emboss the card layer, your paper ends up shrinking a little bit, so I'm going to have to trim that off. So you might have to put that on your trimmer and trim it just a smidge. Okay, use a couple dimensionals and put this on there. And these little embellishments, I think they're gone now, but they were on the clearance rack. I really love them a lot. And they came in the two colors. And I think they were like $3 or something. You really got to watch that clearance rack. All right, so you can either pop that up and make it even more dimensional, or you can glue it down straight, whatever you prefer. And you can put it in the middle of the card like I'm doing on this one, or you can put it on the bottom, whatever you prefer. So, okay, I think that is it. Yeah, I don't see any more. We've got all 5 projects done. So next month is my annual In Color class, and you should have an invitation for that class. I'm offering it in person on Friday, May 19th, 10 a.m. or 6 p.m. And then again on Saturday, May 20th at 10 a.m. And then I'm also offering it virtually. So through a couple different options there for you. The class does include all 5 of the new ink pad colors. And it was $55, which is $5 more than I charged last year. And the reason why I'm charging more is because the pads are actually more expensive than they were last year. So that's one of those price increases. I'm trying to really hold my prices, and I'm looking at all kinds of different little ways to make that happen, because I know we're just all tired of getting hit every time we go to the grocery store or anywhere else. So I'd like to try to keep my prices reasonable and close to what they have been, but I don't really have a choice when the pads are more. So that's why it's a little bit more. So if you didn't get your Evite or you have any questions about that, let me know, and we'll get you set up for that. Enjoy your kit, and if anything's missing or you have any questions, please let me know right away. The photos are all on the Facebook page, and then you should have an email with them as well. And here is my blog if you want to follow it. I do post 2 or 3 times a week usually. If you need to place an order, you can either contact me or you can order it directly online yourself. When you order it online, you do receive a sheet of dimensionals with your thank you gift. Okay, everyone have a fabulous time with your kits and a great weekend, and I will see some of you next month. Thank you so much.